Hey, Dr. Brook here with another epic interview with a co-pilot, Harshal, who is the founder of Xade Finance. And we're going to get to learn all about DeFi, the pros and cons, and how Xade Finance is doing things differently. So welcome to the show, Harshal. Glad you're here.
Yeah, glad to be on this podcast as well.
Yeah.
And nice to meet everyone. Yeah,
Yeah, thank
and
you.
nice to meet you.
Thank you. So the first question I always ask my co-pilots on the show is, what is your Web3 origin story? How did you get into doing something in the blockchain Web3 space?
Well, so my journey in Web3 began it began like everyone else. I started by investing in Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's what got everyone here, right?
Hmm.
But for me, investing was not really my game, and I got into the space about 3 years ago when I was 13. And In this space, investing was not really my game, so I got into trading. But trading was good, but I wanted to be fast, and I wanted to get out of speculation, because according to me, speculation is just educated gambling.
Yeah.
So for me, that's why I got into systematic trading, and I introduced computer algorithms, and thus I became a quant trader in this space. And a quant trader is basically a trader who uses multiple algorithms and bots to conduct systematic trading, such as arbitrage, market making, etc. in this space.
Hmm.
So I mean, I was a market, like I'm a quant trader till, like I'm still a quant trader. I was an active quant trader for about 6 months, and
Hmm.
I was regularly interacting with DeFi protocols and centralized exchanges. So I was always fascinated by DeFi,
Okay.
because for me, what matters is efficiency. Every invention out there was created just to solve two things: security and efficiency. Whether we talk
Hmm.
about the internet, whether we talk about electricity, they were invented to make our lives easier, to make it more efficient.
Hmm.
So, according to me, DeFi is a system which will make our financial system much, much more efficient.
Hmm.
So, I always believe DeFi to be the replacement of banking. That's what all of us have been told. The future of banking, the DeFi is is going to replace banks. But when I started using DeFi, it was a completely different story. People were here just to make money. People were not seeing it as a real use case. Everybody was just
Right.
here make money out of this, to yield farming. Projects were just providing unrealistic yields, unsustainable. They were having unsustainable economics. Projects did not have any real utility, and I mean, like the direction in which DeFi was going, it was pathetic. It was like nowhere near the vision of replacing banks. So
Yes.
that's when I jotted down all the points, all the problems that I faced myself in DeFi, and I
Yeah.
decided to create a super solution which will solve all these problems DeFi, and create a solution which will be DeFi's answer to traditional banks, and therefore create a product which will be the absolute answer to digital banks, and it will be a direct competitor with banks, and bring back DeFi to what it was originally envisioned to be. So
So
that's
so
how I
let's
started it. Yeah,
Sorry, don't mean to cut you off there.
yeah.
Let's talk about that. And you're using the DeFi terminology. And just for those listeners out there who may not have heard that term, because you guys are new in this space and you're learning the Web3 terminology, DeFi is just a shortened way to say decentralized finance. So currently, like Herschel was saying, traditional banking, it's a very centralized mechanism of the way things are done. DeFi is turning things basically upside down on their head and shifting the way in which we do banking. But Herschel has talked about there are some cons to that. There are some problems to that. There are some good things about it. So let's talk about the pros and cons of DeFi. Let's start with what's wrong with DeFi right now.
Awesome. Well, let's talk about what's wrong with DeFi. So DeFi,
Yes.
yeah, definitely. So with DeFi, I would say there are three major problems in DeFi today. The first problem, which I think the people who use DeFi protocols or Web3 protocols in general over here can relate to, is the user experience. The
Yes.
user experience in DeFi is very tedious, right? I'm going to share my experience. This is just an average trade I had. So first so it took me $10 and three wallets to just buy a token on Solana. So first I had to go to my centralized exchange. I had
Yes.
to buy USDC,
Yes.
right? And I had to pay 2% fees. That was for converting my fiat to stable coins. That
Mm-hmm.
was on the centralized exchange. Then I had to bring it to my MetaMask. And
Yeah.
since decentralized exchanges at that time only supported Ethereum ERC20 token standards, I had to pay very high gas fees. Then I had to
Mm-hmm.
bring it to my MetaMask. Then I had to use a bridge. Oh, then I had to use a bridge. I had to install Phantom on Solana, and then I had to transfer it using a bridge where I had to wait for about 40 to 50 minutes, get about 3 to 4% slippage. Then I got my USDC on Solana. Then I had to then I got it on my Phantom wallet. Then I needed to connect it to Serum. I needed to
Mm-hmm.
connect on my Serum DEX, and then around 2 to 3% slippage, I wanted to buy a token on Solana. And finally, by losing around 15 to 17% in fees, I was finally able to buy that token on Solana. And
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to mention this, that I'm a Safari user and I had to install Chrome. And also, I'm a mobile first user. So for me, I hardly use desktop applications. So just for exploring DeFi, I had to, I had to completely shift to a desktop mechanism. I had to
Yeah.
completely start using my laptop. So that's how tedious DeFi today is. All of us can relate to, because this is what usually happens. And I'm
Right.
basically giving you a shortened version. Secondly, DeFi is very difficult to understand. I mean, if I'm talking about any Web2 application out there, I can just go to my app store, click install, enter my email, and boom, I can start using that app.
Mm-hmm.
Over here, I got to install a MetaMask. I got to get some native tokens. And then I had to connect my wallet. And also, we need to have multiple wallets, multiple chains, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's very difficult to use. It's very difficult to understand. uh, and the UI in DeFi is made for nerds. I don't mean to be offensive, but if you see any DeFi protocol out there, Curve Finance, Uniswap, or any DeFi protocol, they have a poor UI, which is difficult to navigate through. And lastly, I would say the biggest problem that we face today in DeFi, in terms of user experience, is the lack of mobile applications.
Mm-hmm.
There are 6 billion mobile users in the world, whereas most of DeFi protocols they only support desktop versions right now.
Right.
So we do need mobile first DeFi applications.
Mm-hmm.
The second major issue with DeFi is the lack of real world adoption, the lack of real world utility, and the lack of real world connections.
Mm-hmm.
DeFi today operates in a closed economy with no connection to the real world. Like, you can borrow against any shit coins out there, but you cannot borrow against one of the most stable and preferred assets in the world, that is real estate. You cannot borrow against a car. You cannot borrow against a bond. You cannot borrow against any real world asset out there. I mean, a person may not have an NFT, the person may not have any crypto, because they don't have the means to afford a crypto or NFT, but they do have something like a house. They may have a house, they may have any real world asset that they can borrow against.
Right.
Secondly, real world utility. DeFi has been touted to replace banks, yet the most used banking features. I cannot take a mortgage on my house using DeFi. I cannot
No.
take an EMI on DeFi. If I want to buy something, if I want to buy the latest iPhone, I cannot do it using DeFi. I want to use the EMI feature. I cannot do it using DeFi.
Mm-hmm.
Lastly, real world adoption. It's very very slow. If I want to if I want to go to my restaurant, and if I want to purchase something with my stable coins, I cannot do so. There are people bringing in card services, but that's not pure DeFi. You're just basically converting your crypto to fiat. There is no real world adoption in that.
Right.
So those are so and lastly, I would say third major problem is the sustainability and security in this space. Over the past 6 months, we have seen billions of dollars in hacks, exploits in DeFi protocols.
Mm-hmm.
Most DeFi protocols out there provide you unsustainable yields and provide you unrealistic incentives.
Mm-hmm.
DeFi protocols and Web3 projects in general do not have a sustainable business model
Right.
as of today. If you see
Right.
any project out there, exactly, if you see Decentraland, they have 30 users. If you see Polkadot, they're generating $730 in revenue every day, every week. That's
Mm-hmm.
pretty low numbers. They're valued at billions of dollars, but their revenue is not even hitting, I don't know, like 10,000, $100,000.
Yeah.
So exactly. So this space is pretty unsustainable and insecure at this moment. There are other features, there are other parts to this as well. DeFi
Yep.
protocols today are under regulation. The regulation is a big issue. Another issue can be said about DAOs. So we
Right.
see multiple fake DAOs out there. I'm gonna
Yep.
take some famous examples. Let's talk about the Tron DAO.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Sun owns more than 50% of the Tron DAO token supply. Yet they call it a completely decentralized DAO. Luna. everybody was against the Terra 2.0 proposal. Yet Terra 2.0 went forward,
Yeah.
and there are plenty of examples, but I don't want to go deeper into it.
Right.
So these are some of the major problems in DeFi today. And
Mm-hmm.
whereas if you're talking about what's good with DeFi, I mean, what we're hearing right now, there are so many cons to it. So there must be something good about DeFi as well.
Mm-hmm.
So in DeFi, according to DeFi, so let's talk about banks. If you're dealing with a bank, so there are three major problems in banks, in traditional banks and traditional finance in general. The first problem is efficiency.
Mm-hmm.
So the biggest error in the system is human error. Wherever there are humans, there's going to be error. There's going to be corruption, right?
Yeah,
So
correct.
exactly, humans can lie. Humans have the
Yeah.
ability to be corrupt. Humans have the ability to be slow. Computers do not. Humans get tired. Computers do not. That's one of the reasons I got into quant trading as well,
Yeah.
because I've got some certain limitations, but my algorithms don't.
Mm-hmm.
Efficiency is one of the biggest reasons why we need DeFi.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing with removing humans from this equation is autonomy. Once
Mm-hmm.
you have a completely autonomous system, as I told you, corruption goes away. Another thing is everything, like humans can be lenient at times, but you don't need a lenient system. You need a system that operates as it should,
Mm-hmm.
a system which is rigorous, a system which cannot break
Mm-hmm.
because it cannot break its own rules.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you get with autonomous systems. And
Mm-hmm.
lastly, I would say it gives. I would say it gives you a lot of scalability as well. Whereas traditional financial system can give you, traditional finance system can only be limited to countries. We can have
Mm-hmm.
a global financial system using DeFi.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, if you're talking about from our perspective, you don't require tons of paperwork. You get rid of the bureaucracy. And to sum up, I would say there are three major things that DeFi is improving: security, scalability, and efficiency.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So these are the three major pros of DeFi over traditional finance system. As I told you, every invention was made to be a more efficient and secure, to be a safer and a efficient version of their predecessors. So that's why I believe DeFi will replace banking, because simply it's just a better solution.
Yeah.
So
Well, first off, you broke down a lot of different things, which I absolutely appreciate, because you did go into a lot of different cons. Like, there's a lot of different things that are wrong with DeFi currently as it stands in 2022. That is not going to be the future of DeFi, as as we move through and things do get better. And we'll talk about Zade Finance and how it's improving this space. But I want to hit on, so one of the things you said as a con for DeFi was security, because there are
exactly,
a lot of hacks and there are a lot of things that have happened even in the last, I mean, you can even take it all the way back to the beginning of this year, not even within the last 6 months, but there's just been all kinds of crazy, right? And wormholes getting, all of it. And so, but then you also said a pro of DeFi is security. So if the listeners caught that, he said a con of it was security and a pro
yeah,
is security. A
exactly,
con, the security currently right now with DeFi protocols is the bad negative side, but the security moving forward with DeFi protocols and what it can look like in the future is also the pro or the good side of it, correct?
exactly,
Okay.
yeah,
Awesome. Well, I mean, yeah, I was just like listening. I was like, yes, 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 yes. So you are a founder of a product, or we're going to talk about it, a company called Zade Finance. And Zade
exactly,
Finance, huh?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And Zade Finance is basically like doing DeFi the right way, or what you would see, you broke down all of what's wrong with DeFi. Zade is doing things to get rid of all of those cons. Tell us about Zade Finance and why it is a far superior product than any other DeFi protocol on the market.
got it. Okay, so mostly today people use digital banks for the banking services.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so people are used to the digital banking experience. I told you the three major problems of DeFi today. So when I was personally experiencing those problems, I decided let's create a simple solution. We
Mm-hmm.
want to solve the user experience, right? So why not bring in a user experience of a digital bank which the people are familiar with, right? So I brought in the user experience, which is so Zade is a super mobile application which has a user experience which is indistinguishable from the likes of the neobanks and digital banks such as Revolut, Monzo, or any digital bank provided by, let's say, the Citibank or any bank out there. Right. So the
Mm-hmm.
people are familiar with the experience. We have a checkings account, savings account,
Yeah.
investments account for the comfort of the people, which is so seamless and easy to use that even your grandma can use it.
Yeah.
So that's how we got the user experience. Now let's talk about the real world utility, right? So how to bring
Mm-hmm.
in the real world utility? Why reinvent the wheel? Let's just provide what the banks provide. So we
Mm-hmm.
provide all the banking services. We provide payments, savings, investments, insurance. If anything your bank provides, trust me, Zaid will provide that as well. We
Yes.
provide all banking services. So what Zaid took from traditional finance was the user experience uh, and the features of a digital bank.
Mm-hmm.
And we also took the best of DeFi. We created three DeFi protocols,
Mm-hmm.
which are designed specifically to replicate banking services in the most efficient, sustainable, and secure manner possible. So we created three protocols. Remitex, it's a remittances protocol where you can send payments all around the globe in multiple currencies with zero fees whatsoever to different mobile numbers and email addresses,
Mm-hmm.
which is the first in DeFi right now,
Mm-hmm.
across multiple chains, by the way, with zero slippage.
Wow.
That's Remitex. It's live on mainnet right now.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that's then number two. We have got Derivex. Derivex is a derivatives protocol, which is the world's largest derivatives market, where you can trade more than 5,000 plus markets, including stocks, crypto, commodities, forex, ETFs, including stocks from the US, Japanese stocks, and we are adding support for European and Indian stocks pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and we have a capital efficiency system which will take all your counter trades and then hedge its position in the spot markets, therefore providing you guaranteed liquidity. And that's live in our private testnet as well. Therefore, bringing worldwide market access to everyone out there. Also, it's with short selling and 10x leverage. So that's
Okay.
there. We
Yeah.
have got we have got Sabex. It's a money market protocol or a lending and borrowing protocol. Right. So the biggest issue that we face today is my savings account doesn't beat inflation. I'm losing money to inflation every day.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided, why not create a savings account which is designed specifically to beat inflation?
Mm-hmm.
Introducing Sabex. Sabex is a savings account which provides you a yield higher than your regional inflation rate. So if
Mm-hmm.
you live in the US, so you're going to get a inflation rate higher than the US inflation rate. If I live in
Mm-hmm.
India, I'm going to get a rate higher than the Indian inflation rate.
Mm-hmm.
And to provide this rate, we decided to create a capital efficient interest rate mechanism. Because today there are two types of there are two types of money markets out there in DeFi. Number one is variable rate protocols such as Compound and Aave. They are the most used. They've got billions in
Yeah.
liquidity. But yeah, but the thing is, they are not fit for household savings. They
Mm.
provide a variable rate. So, for example, if I put in some money, right? So I may get 10% today, but tomorrow I may get 1%. It's not
Yes.
really sure. It's very unstable. It's not
It
fit
goes
for
up and down.
stable savings. Exactly. So that's why Anchor Protocol was created. But Anchor Protocol was created as a Ponzi scheme. It was not created to be sustainable.
Oh my gosh.
20%. Exactly. Warren Buffett provided 18% per year after he's investing for like 70 or 80 years.
Yeah.
And Mr. Do Kwon provided 20% APY by just lending by just lending out against three assets. So
Right.
that's Mr. Do Kwon. So to fix that, we created a new mechanism by taking a fixed rate mechanism used by Hi-Fi yield protocol, and we combined it with the variable rate of Aave and Compound to create a new interest rate mechanism known as the Sabex mechanism, which provides the
Mm-hmm.
most capital efficient interest rate models. And what we also do is since there is a lending side to it, we also have a borrowing side to Sabex. In the borrowing side, so the biggest problem in DeFi today is you cannot borrow against real world assets. You can borrow against volatile crypto assets, or you can borrow against NFTs.
Yeah.
So but there are multiple people out there who are bringing in real world credit lending. They're bringing in real world asset lending, right? So there are people who are working on this cause, and we thought like, why reinvent the wheel? Web3 is about collaboration. It's not about competition. So we partnered up with five protocols to provide lending against real world businesses and to provide loans against real world assets.
Mm-hmm.
So we are partnered up with five right now, and by Q1 2023, we aim to partner up with 30 more.
Wow.
Therefore, bringing in a wider access for real
Mm-hmm.
world asset lending, opening
Mm-hmm.
up a wider loan base also to real world businesses. There are multiple businesses which do not have a proper credit score. Zade will be their way.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
that's
That's
habits. Yeah.
sorry. Go no. That's absolutely incredible. The expansion. You said 5 and then going into 30 into Q1. Um,
Yeah.
can you break down how so in a traditional banking setting, most people understand, let's say you get your payroll check or you work and you get your paycheck gets deposited into your bank account and it's sitting in your checking account. You have your debit card, you can go swipe it at all the retailers, or you have your credit card, those kind of things. How does that work with Zade Finance? Can you deposit fiat money like my paycheck every single week? Can I deposit into my Zade Finance bank account? Or is it through only USDC stablecoin currently?
But there are two things actually.
Okay.
So yeah, so we also have fiat on. So there are two things. So as I told you, so they will also be launching card services, but we are dealing it right now. The reason being, I know about 100 products who are offering card services in DeFi right now, but it's not boosting the adoption of DeFi right now
Right.
because you're just converting your crypto to fiat again.
Right.
So it doesn't make sense.
Right.
In terms of fiat ramps, yes, we do allow. So we have two mechanisms for that. We have a fiat ramps aggregator where we provide you the best rates between fiat and crypto, where you can convert your fiat to crypto at the best rate. Or if you want even better rates, we have introduced a new era of peer-to-peer fiat to crypto conversion. We have
Okay.
seen multiple peer-to-peer, crypto to fiat conversions or fiat to crypto conversions, but the issue is security. People do not like, having P2P payments is pretty insecure because, I mean, if I may send my fiat payment, but I may not receive my crypto, that's always been an issue with Binance P2P or
Yes.
any P2P service out there. So we decided, let's add a third party to it, third party verifier, gets all these transactions.
Mm-hmm.
And when we have introduced this, we have a few mechanisms in which we can, at least provide a more secure P2P fiat to crypto conversions,
Mm-hmm.
so therefore you can get rates as low as 0.3, maybe 0.5%. So we have got multiple ways to on ramp your fiat to crypto.
Wow.
So yeah, that's it.
Wow, it's very, very fascinating. And you said the app is getting tested currently at the time of recording. So by the time it will be released, we should be into Q1 2023. And so people can download this in any country. This is being utilized worldwide, correct?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Very
Yeah.
cool. So is there anything else that I missed, like that you want to share, like about Zade that I maybe missed, like talking about, or maybe something like around DeFi?
I would say, I mean, definitely there is one or two things I would say. The first one being, I would like to share a roadmap actually.
Yeah.
So right now, Zade is in a private beta. We have already launched a payments mainnet.
Mm-hmm.
It's live right now.
Mm-hmm.
We will be launching DerivX Q1 2023 mobile
Okay.
application by the end of Q1 2023, Q2 2023, and Q3 2023. We will introduce our savings and borrowing mechanisms. That's the roadmap for Zate right now. And something about a team and something about myself as well. So
Yeah.
what DeFi helped me explore was, so the thing is in traditional finance or in Web2 systems, there are multiple barriers. You need to have a college degree. You need to have this qualification, that qualifications, right? So let me share
Mm-hmm.
something about myself. So I'm a 16-year-old guy. Okay, and my team consists of people who are dropouts. Some people have went to Ivy leagues. Some people work for institutions. So we have a team which has a very different, like they come from different backgrounds.
Yes.
Yet like some of our dropouts are more smarter than our Ivy league people. Some are like, and yet we work together. Thing is, DeFi, Web3, and this new era of web will help us explore. It will help us break all the boundaries that we have today.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something I wanted to share about DeFi. And otherwise, I would say, like, we should use DeFi for our real world use cases, not just to make money in this space.
Right.
So
Right.
That's what matters at the end of the day. Let's
I
not, just buy tokens. Let's use the products. Come on.
I love
So
that you said that, because you did say that in the beginning, and I apologize for not hitting on that, because you did talk about it's about real world use cases for this stuff, not just trying to look and watch the charts and just being like trading. People forget that you know during the time, and you were probably, well, you probably weren't even born when this was happening, in the web 1 days, which I was definitely coming into my high school years around that at that time, when everybody was talking about the big tech bubbles and everybody had a website and there was all these companies coming out, and the stock market here in the United States completely crashed at some point, because it's just like not all of these websites and tools and everything is going to work. And so now we see kind of we're living in that world right now with Web3, where everybody is having the next big company and the next big token, and they're just really trying to pump and dump, really getting people all hyped up about it and then pulling the money out, and people lose all kinds of things because there were no real foundational pieces in which the company was built on. So I appreciate you sharing that about your team. There's all kinds of college dropouts that have done massive, big, huge disruptions in the world for a positive way. So that's not to say anything about you losing credibility or your team losing credibility. I think it's actually like a really good thing. And I know that you said that in a really good way. You weren't saying it as a bad thing. So that's awesome. Very, very awesome. I'm excited for you guys.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Awesome. How can people connect with you? How can they get in touch with Zade Finance? How could they download the app? How can they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, people can just register from our website. It's Zade.finance, or you can just search up Zade Finance, XADE Finance on Google, and
Okay.
the first result is Zade Finance. You
Yep.
can go in and register for private beta, or use a payments mainnet right now, whatever your private beta is
Nice.
full right now, but we will be opening it again around the end of this month or starting of January.
Okay.
Um, or you can join a community. And I'm more than happy to give you a demo of Zade Finance personally if you're interested to know more about finance. We got, I would say, customer support. We are
Yeah.
we have probably the best customer support. I, as a founder, I'm going to come down to help you if you
Yep.
require. If you have any questions about Zade Finance, just hit me up over Discord, Telegram. Our Discord and Telegram, as well as the Twitter links, are on our website. So you
Mm-hmm.
can connect us via. We would prefer Discord because we have a very, very strong community. So yeah.
That's awesome. And I will be sure to put all those links in the show notes so people have easy access to click and get right to the Discord and click and get right to the website. And you made them mention that they can reach out to you directly. So that's super awesome, and gracious of you to give your time like that. But thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate the time that we got to spend together and talk about DeFi and all things Web3 and how to make this space so much better for everybody who's coming on. So thank you again.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it was really great to be on this podcast as well. I really enjoyed this time. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Hang out after the show. And for those of you who are on the ride with us as we pull this train into the station, you know the drill. Exit to your right, and we will see you on the next one. You made it. Congratulations. That wasn't so bad, was it? I hope you laughed and learned a little bit more about this Web3 universe and how simple and fun it can really be. Would you be so kind as to leave us a review and share it with your friends and family? It would mean so much to get this out to more people as we embark on the greatest transfer of wealth that has ever happened in human history. Can't wait to see you on the next one.